Hi, everybody. I hope all of you are doing really well. Hassan Sharik and Adnan Khalid with our weekly live session, Immigration Buzz, which is all about Canadian immigration, settlement in Canada, studies in Canada, professional options in Canada. Our viewership has been growing, and we are very encouraged by the fact that a lot of people are joining in, and there's a lot of comments that we are getting as well. As mentioned in the earlier episodes as well, the whole point of this weekly live session is to sit down with all of you and in a casual, informal way discuss Canadian immigration and Canadian settlement opportunities. So your feedback is greatly appreciated. Today's topic or today's session will be structured in a way that after this brief introduction, we will move towards the topic for the episode, which is Canadian visitor visa, and it is in coincidentally today is the day when the government has allowed people to travel to Canada, even if the need for travel to Canada is non-essential. So people can move with visitor visas. After the discussion on the topic, the visitor visa, then we'll take on the questions. So all of you who are attending the show are greatly encouraged to post your questions so that we can answer on that. And before we move on towards the topic, what I will do is that I will share with you a beautiful video of Canada, a beautiful scenery, which is very well known. So quickly have a look at that.
Welcome everyone. I hope you like the video of Jasper here. Sorry, the beautiful scenery of Canada. So thank you for joining. As Hassan mentioned, today is the day when Canada has allowed the visitors to enter in, so that travel restrictions have been eased. So today we decided to put up our small presentation on the same subject, so that if someone is interested in visiting Canada, so they should have this information. I will share my screen, and then we will start right away in this. All right, Hassan, is there any problem with the screen?
Adnan, it's kind of flickering.
Alrighty, I think there is a small problem here.
Let me try and add it from my side.
No, it's fine. We can go without that. It's okay. We can go. Right. All right. So today is the 7th of September. So the government of Canada has announced that if you are asymptomatic and if you have a proof of a valid pre-arrival, like your COVID-19 test, so you are allowed to come. Of course, with the you need to submit your information to Arrive Can app before landing in Canada. And of course, you should have your valid visitor visa to arrive here. So this is the thing which is coming back to normal a little bit. Of course, the fourth wave is still there, but this is a good news from anybody who is interested. So when it comes to visitor visa, there are basically two categories just came into our mind, like on a broader basis. One is the tourism basis. The other, in tourism, we can call it visit visa, or we can call it business visa for a small temporary duration. And the second one is for students as well, who are completing their education for less than 6 months. So they also need to get a visitor visa, not the full-time study permit, if the duration is less than 6 months. Today, we would like to touch base only on the tourism visit visa or the business visa for a small duration of less than 6 months. And we are going to cover quickly what are the documents required, what actions needed, and a few common questions which everybody look into. All right, so the The first thing, so three things as I mentioned. If you want to come to Canada, you either are coming on a holiday basis, or you are coming to visit your family who are already in Canada, or you have a small business meetings or seminars uh, to uh, to attend here. So yeah, this is the category which is the best suited for this purpose. So let's come to the next. What is the documents which we are looking for on a visitor visa basis? So the first thing, you need to show that you have a ties to your home country. That is very important. When you are applying for an application, you need to show proof that you have a property, you have some job, you have employment prospect in your country. Like for example, if you are in any your country of residence, you are going to come back. That is the first intention you need to make sure exist when you want to apply for this. The second one is, of course, your funds. You need to be financially stable. You need to show that you can pay the expenses of your trip, of your stay. So this is very important. Of course, you need to attach your bank statements. You need to attach your property evaluation papers. That is good also from the financial side, and also showing your ties in your country of residence. Of course, your valid legal documents you need to show. And if you are coming to visit your family members in Canada, you need to have a very strong invitation letter from the person who is in Canada, who is a permanent resident or Canadian citizen. So you need to request them to give you an invitation letter in which all the information is there from the guest and host, both sides. That is important. And also, you need to show arrangements where you are going to stay in Canada. Either you are going to stay in your family member house, or if you are staying in a hotel. So you need to show all that evidences for the visa officer to assess your file. So these are some high level documents which you submit usually on the visitor visa basis. Of course, it varies from case to case. If you are coming for a business side, for having a small meeting or seminar to attend, of course, the invitation letter will get replaced with the letter which you need to get through the other organization. Okay, so these are the general high level idea of what visa officer is looking into. The next thing, usually there's a lot of questions come to people mind, like about visitor visa. The first one we usually hear about is, what if you leave Canada and then return before your visitor visa expires? So it depends. Sometimes you get a single entry visitor visa. Sometimes you get a multiple entry visitor visa. It depends. You need to check the condition of your passport here. So, for example, if you have a multiple visitor visa, of course, if you leave, you can come back within that duration which visa officer is allowed to come to Canada. So that is one thing to clarify. The other question which we hear about is, can I extend my visitor status? Yes, yeah, you can extend. You can send request for your extension of your visitor visa once the duration expired. You can do it from inside Canada if you're already here, of course, with the documents which are required. So yeah, that's possible. This third question we heard about is, how long does it takes to process this visa? So due to COVID, the timing actually went off a little bit. It's no more near to the normal which we usually say. But as the travel is opening soon, today is the first day which travel is actually allowed for the foreign nationals to come here. So of course the timeline will get reduced. The COVID thing is almost on the back. The processing have increased. So yes, this is a good time. Now you can start submitting your applications, and hopefully you will get the answer soon. One thing more to clarify here: if you have a family member or relative here, so you can actually expedite the application from case to case. There are certain categories which you can request the visa officer to review your file quicker than the other normal cases. So this also depends from one case to another. The last question is, how long I can stay in Canada in one single trip? Usually, you cannot stay more than 6 months in one trip. So you need to exit after that period, and then you can come back if your visitor visa is still valid. So yeah, 6 months is the maximum duration you can stay in one single trip in Canada. So I hope you have more questions coming up on that. But Hassan, I will give it to you if you want to add something on the same subject, please.
Thanks, Adnan. Very precise and very important information that Adnan has just shared. And also, as Adnan mentioned, that today is an important day in the sense that more than a year, close to a year and a half, there was travel restriction. The travel, as of today, those travel restrictions have been lifted by the government. So now, first of all, people who already hold a visitor visa can travel. There are certain requirements in terms of once if you're vaccinated or not, the quarantine plan that is required, but you can travel. Also, certain streams, like a lot of applicants who are looking at business immigration. Now, a lot of PNP programs require you to make an exploratory visit. So a lot of people were not able to do that. So it's important that all those who already have a valid visitor visa or who would want to apply for a visitor visa now, starting from today, have the option of traveling to Canada. Um, some of the things that Adnan explained, I'll try and fill few more things. So, sometimes we get to have these queries where people ask us if we can provide an invitation letter. Now, keep in mind, this is a confusion that people generally have with when they're looking at a lot of other countries' visitor visas, where sometimes if somebody wants to go to, say, maybe Turkey or Malaysia for tourism, usually it is the travel agent who's able to provide you with the letter or on the basis of which you apply for a visa. It's slightly different in terms of Canada. So in terms of Canada, if you, as Adnan mentioned, that there can be a few reasons. So it can be just tourism, like you want to travel around Canada, do your vacations. Now, in that case, you might not need an invitation letter. Rather, you need to have a travel itinerary. But if you are saying that you would want to attend a family visit, like a wedding, maybe like and somebody's engagement or birth of a child in your family that is based in Canada. Now, in that case, you need an invitation letter. That has to come from the person, your relative, your friend who is inviting you. So it's not supposed to be an RCIC or a lawyer who is going to issue that letter. So keep one thing in mind. Secondly, if you're saying that your purpose of visit is business or work, like you have to attend an exhibition maybe or attend a conference. Now, in that case, the invitation letter is going to come from the inviting business firm or company. Again, it's going to be the person or the entity inviting you. So just to clarify that this is generally a confusion that people have. Also, I like the opportunity to add over here that a lot of people feel that it's you apply for a visitor visa to Canada, and then once you're here, you can change that into some other forms. That's not the case, and with this session, we'd like to sort of clarify that yes, there are possibilities, but the Canadian visitor visa is actually for a very specific purpose, and the visa officer is looking at your profile in the sense that once you fulfill that purpose, which can be a family visit, which can be a conference, which can just be a holiday for 2 weeks, you are likely to move out of Canada. So don't consider this visitor visa as a pathway towards something else. Yeah, so just a few things that I wanted to add. Adnan, just moving on the same topic. So we see that there's a lot of times students who apply, and now that students have started to move with the fall term starting, there is generally a question that parents, can they apply for a visit visa if they would want to accompany? Like sometimes parents would want to have their kids settle in the initial time. So if you could shed some light on that.
Yes, exactly. They can apply for an application for visitor visa. That should be away outside of their children's study permit application, but that is possible. Again, in that particular situation, we need to see the profile and the details of the parent itself, because they are the main applicant. Of the one of the reason, of course, we should mention it to visa officer that they want to help their son settle in Canada, to help them get the accommodation, to see, it's possible, of course, especially if they are plus 18. That's a different case. If they are less than 18, that's completely a different case. In that case, we go for a sponsorship or ownership or like that kind of thing. But yeah, it's possible. A lot of parents do that. So yeah, it can happen. And also one thing, Hassan, you mentioned about changing the status from visitor visa in Canada. That was not possible before, but due to COVID-19 policy which came up, they actually allowed few exceptions they gave,
Yeah.
so you can change visitor to worker, and that the kind of thing which it was ended on 31st of August, and I think they extended. It's not officially announced on their IRCC page, but it is saying, they said that it's extended. So the COVID-19 policies might continue for next couple of months on that case. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. It's just that I wanted to sort of clarify that that's not
Yeah.
actually, like, a lot of people feel that, getting a visitor visa can be a pathway towards a permanent residency or
No,
some.
that's
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
case.
yeah,
But yeah, exemptions came up only to change the status to help people because they can't travel.
yeah,
They are stuck. So the government just introduced a temporary policy, and they do that from time to time.
yeah,
But yeah, that's not leading to permanent residency for sure.
yeah. Fair enough. On the note of visitor visa, there is a common question that we all, you yourself, myself, our other colleagues, get to have, that what is the minimum fund requirement that you're supposed to show when you're applying for a visa? So, what are your thoughts on that?
Actually, I see in two different ways. Two very important things here. One is the ties which you need to maintain with your country of residence. That is first important thing, and that could be in terms of your property, that could be in terms of your business, your rental properties, or anything, like you can show your attachment to the country. The second came to the liquid cash, like bank statements. That is also of equal a value. Some people also show their credit card value. I don't like that, to be honest, to mention that credit card limits and stuff, but bank statement is second thing. A thumb rule is uh, at least keep like $10,000 for the main applicant, and then add another $3,000 to $4,000 for the other applicant. That is for the maximum duration, I'm saying, if they want to stay like up to 6 months. So this is the something they need to show at least minimum. I'm not adding the air travel tickets inside this. I'm not traveling, not showing the accommodation expenses. It's just the fare, but you should have minimum. The more is better, but of course should not be less than this amount particularly. So yeah, no, it and the liquid cash is not going to be compensated by other ways. You need to show something which you can
Yeah.
quickly disperse to cover your expenses in Canada.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'll just add on that Adnan has greatly explained that it is actually a combination of a few things. It's not just that a certain amount of money, if that's in your account, you will get a visa. You might be rejected even if you have like $30,000, equivalent of $30,000. Your previous travel history, and more importantly, your ties with your home country or country of residence from where you're applying. That is very, very important. So a good amount to have to be shown is about $10,000. Say, for instance, if you have very good travel history in the past, you've been to quite a few countries, and also it depends as to which countries are we talking of. So if you've been to, say, Europe many times, and you've been you've stayed there, and then you've returned in time, you've been to US, you've been to such other countries, then even if you have enough funds right now in your account which can just cover the travel expense, that should be fine. But if you don't have any travel history at all, and there is a certain profile, so then that might be difficult.
A lot of things, Hassan, also to be added. A lot of things matter, like your previous applications, if you sent to other countries, what were their results? Like that is an important factor.
Yeah.
If you have refusals, the case become a little complex. So you need to tackle all those stuff, to be honest, like in a more deeper way. But yeah, these are the things which are assessed from one profile to another profile. And then we advise you, okay, what kind of documents are needed, what we need to write from our side in the representation letter and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where it is very important. Again, one mistake that a lot of people make is that they, for a visitor visa, Canadian visitor visa, either you should apply yourself, or if you would want services from somebody, it should be an RCIC or a Canadian lawyer. Because if you go on to use the services of, say, a travel agent, they don't understand the Canadian law. And what they will do is that they'll apply for your Canadian visa just in the manner that they apply for a Thai or a Malaysian or a Turkish tourist visa. And God forbid, if you have that rejection once from Canada, the record is over there. And as Nan mentioned, not just that Canada will have that record. Some of these major countries do a lot of info sharing. So that might actually be a bad record for you for maybe a future US application or a Europe application. So somebody who understands the Canadian immigration law can advise you, can present your case better. I'd also like to add one thing, that this whole concept of a guaranteed visa. A lot of times people say that, okay, we can give you this much money if you do it on a what's called as a done basis. There's nothing like that. There's absolutely nothing like that. So don't waste your money. People are going to charge you a lot of money, then play a gamble on your application. If it works out, they'll take all that money from you. If it doesn't, they'll give it back to you, and you'll end up having a scar on your immigration history. So very important thing to keep in mind. Adnan, do you have anything further on this topic, or how about should we move
Yes,
to the questions?
one thing I want to add is
Yeah,
a
sure.
Canadian visitor visa is a little bit challenging application. It's, as Hassan mentioned, it's not the same like other countries are easier to apply really, and I'm telling you from my experience on that. In Canadian visitor visa, you need to be very, very careful. You need to have elaborated documents you need to attach. You need to show to visa officer to convince him how you are a genuine visitor, what's your intention and all that. It's every single point is important to mention to visa officer, and nobody wants a rejection on their file. So look for a broader picture here. Take a deep breath and sit back and try to understand the message that you cannot take chances on your file. So you need to be sure about how you are proceeding with that. Hassan, I think we actually went to 20 minutes, so we should start taking questions
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's going to take good amount of time as well.
Okay. I'm not sure if there's any visa visitor visa related question, because I would really want to start. I think there is one. I'll put this on. It's by Asif, and Asif is asking, if someone already have visit visa, kindly guide about quarantine duration and details. Adan, would you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. So for quarantine, it depends now which kind of vaccine you already have. So the government of Canada, they announced on their website the vaccines which they approve: AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson, and there is one more, Moderna. These
Moderna.
four I know, and there is two more which I not so famous, but they are on the list of Canada website. If you are already have a shots of those vaccine, so the quarantine requirements completely different. Like it's not like the same for other people who have some other vaccines. So it depends. Once you give us more details about the vaccine stuff, we can tell you if you have to quarantine or you do not have to quarantine. So this, of course, the requirements are there. You still need to tell the visa officer before arriving in Canada through the Arrival Can app, which I
Arrive
mentioned in
can.
the
Yeah.
Arrive Can.
Yeah.
You need to mention it to visa officer that which vaccination you did. You need to mention in that particular app before you land on Canadian border soil. So make sure you do that. Of course, the visa officer will assess, give you more instructions. But yeah, there is an instructions already in place. Once we have more details, we can guide you.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just add that the different vaccines that Adnan mentioned, if you just go on Government of Canada website, the Canada Health, they have this list. If you have the shots done by these companies, then you're not supposed to stay in a hotel or anything. Right now, the international travel as of today is only again. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Adnan, is only allowed on 4 airports. I think that restriction is still there. So you can land only in these 4. You need to have a PCR test, even if you've had the shots. 72 hours. It should not be more than 72 hours before your flight, and you have to provide that in ArriveCan app. If you've had these shots, then you land, and then you just mention that what is the self-isolation plan that you have. But if you don't have these, then you're supposed to have a couple more PCR tests done. One is done right away, and then there is one on the 8th day, and depending on what outcome it is, the further procedure is for that.
Exactly. And also one more thing to add here, because this is relevant to the discussion we have on this topic, is the rules and procedures are changing every day and depends from one province to another province. So you need to also make sure what is your end destination. For Alberta, it is different. For Ontario, it is different. For British Columbia, it is different. So you need to make sure you actually are following the procedures set in place by the authorities there once you decide it. And Hassan, I also got a comment from Asif again, and he's saying it's Pfizer. So yes,
Pfizer.
for Pfizer, you are safe because this is one of the best vaccine they consider in Canada. Yes, so the quarantine requirements will not hotel quarantine is gone. So of course you are not going to quarantine. Also, the 14 days quarantine is not required with this vaccine. So you need to go to your accommodation if you have a family, a relative, somebody, so you can stay there. So it's fine. Of course, some provincial rules and regulations still apply. So you need to make sure you are following that.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
One
Hassan,
more question, Hassan,
yeah.
came up regarding the same subject. So Asif again, he's saying Chinese vaccine is approved in Canada. So Asif, if I'm not mistaken, you are speaking about Sinopharm, maybe that vaccine that was not approved. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hassan, you can take the next question.
Perfect. So let's start taking the questions in the sequence that they came. Daud, how to apply for immigration in Canada? Adan, you
That
haven't
is
been
a
doing a great job.
very, very, very open-ended question. But yeah, that is the first thing which somebody start looking into this option. They want how I should do it because the procedure is complicated and it's changing every single day. Like on a weekly basis, I spend like around 4 hours of my time in research work looking into what changed from previously. And there is a lot of reading to do from province to province and on the federal level as well. So the first thing, if you are not sure about, like you can get in touch with either Hassan or myself, and our website has the details. Like send us an email, and we will get a consultation book for you, and we can go from there. Yes, Hassan has also showed the website, so this is where you can actually start contacting the people who are in this field who knows what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So thank you, Hassan. So yes, we can move next question.
Perfect. Next on, Zain is asking, bro, do you have branch in Lahore, Pakistan?
I can
Adnan?
answer that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can answer it. So then the world has changed, believe me. So like you are seeing us, I don't think we need to put another office in Lahore and just to put some agents there and there's some unethical things will start going on. We want to avoid that. And for this reason, we have our offices, both of us. Hassan has an office in Ontario region. I have an office in Alberta. And we are actually from our office now here and we are live with you. And this is the same way we deal with our clients on one-to-one basis, face-to-face. So you do not need any third party or third office to go and start speaking with someone when you have a facility right in front of you, easy to hand. You can contact us from the ease of your home.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll just like to add that, like I did put up the websites. So the best way is that you just go on our websites. Adnan's website is there, mine is there, and we have our contact details over there. You can book a consultation session, and then we'll sit down because the question that Daud asked, how to apply for immigration to Canada, it has to be answered on the basis of everyone's profile. Daud, I'd greatly appreciate if you can, the initial episodes that we had, I think it was the episode number 2, where we really gave a brief overview of the different streams that are there under Canadian immigration. So you need to first know that where you can fit. Like, is it economic immigration, skilled immigration, business immigration? Maybe you would need to apply for a study permit. So do watch that video. If you're tuning in on Adnan's platform like Felkis Immigration, that will be there. If you're joining on mine, SHARIQ Immigration, the videos will be there. So watch that, and then if you have further questions, you can definitely book a consult with Adnan or myself. Mohammed, Adnan, if you remember, is a regular attendee, and he always has a question about express entry and FSWP. So today he's asking, is it possible that the next express entry draw gonna be all program, and when will it be?
We can We can just speculate, but we
Yeah,
cannot be sure about it because this is with the Ministry of Citizenship in Canada. They are actually the one who announced the draws as per their procedures. There is usually a routine. If you see the Canadian Experience class, usually have a draws every 2 weeks. The same similar applies for PNP. Like there is a procedure in place. It was also the same in 2019 for Federal Skilled Worker Program. The COVID have changed the things, so the regular draws actually got interrupted. So it's now on as needed basis, and especially the provinces. Every province they announce as per their requirements. They announce their own draws. So there is a draws within draws within draws going on. So stay tuned on that. We are also looking forward to it.
yeah, yeah. And as Adnan mentioned, that the actual information is with IRCC. Anybody else is only speculating. Yes, we being in this profession can have a more calculated guess, I believe, compared with some other people. But some of the indicators, see, previously for about a year, all the COPR holders, like confirmation of PR holders who had been granted their PR about a year ago, they were not allowed to travel. The first step was that Canadian government allowed all of them to travel. So all those people have moved to Canada, are moving to Canada. So that was the first step. Then there was travel restriction, except for people who had like an exemption. As of today, that travel restriction is being taken away. So now things are moving towards a stage where possibly we can expect an FSWP draw to happen sometime soon. We are also praying, just like you, that it happens very, very soon. So let's stay positive, Mohammed. And thank you for being a regular attendee. Moving on, we have a question from Yusuf. Yusuf is asking, I'm a pharmacist, but I work as an inventory manager and I have interest in OINP. Though I'm already in Express Entry Pool as a pharmacist, I wanted to apply for OINP as a manufacturer manager. And there is a second part to it. Hope I will be considered.
Okay. So for Yusuf, thank you for asking this question. So yes, if you are already in Express Entry Pool, and if you are specifically looking for an Ontario program, there is a stream, I think human capital stream, in which they consider the foreign nationals. They have start taking application. It is announced on their website, like, yes, they are now going to take applications, but they actually pick the applicants which are already in pool, have a certain score and certain NOC. So of course your pharmacist code, I'm not sure, we have to look into detail if it is in that particular high demand skills professions or not. But yeah, it can picked up if your score is based on the certain level. If it's higher than that, we can look into more details of that. If you send us an email and book a consultation, we will do thorough study of your case to advise you what you can do. In parallel, you can also look for some other provinces as well, because your purpose, I think, is to get in Canada on a permanent resident basis. So you should look into some other province to see if there are any options in Saskatchewan, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, Labrador. There is a lot which I personally liked much, especially from the health NOC profession wise. So yeah, there is a lot of things going on. So keep looking, and yeah, if you need help, just contact us. Hassan, please add something.
I'll just quickly add that Yusuf, for pharmacist, last about 2 years at least, I don't remember before that, but last about 2 years, the human capital priority stream, they haven't picked pharmacists, but if, as you're mentioning, if you're actually working as a manufacturer manager, then we have to work out your NOC code, because your qualification might actually be as a pharmacist, but the actual role that you're doing might actually qualify you for a different NOC. I've had previously people who have pharmacy degrees, and they're working for pharmaceutical companies, but they're working as product managers. So they fall more into the category of marketing managers. And that's where we've put up their profile. So detailed assessment has to be done as to what's your NOC, and if that knock is being picked by the human capital priority streams of OINP. And as Adnan mentioned, important thing that OINP will itself, you have to be part of the express entry pool, will itself pick people. There's no separate EOI, but you need to pick a knock which is in high demand over there. That's the assessment that has to be done.
Also, Hassan, if I remember correctly, Newfoundland and Labrador, they have a very good program a couple of months ago for healthcare workers, especially. And if Yusuf, I think if you was in that pool, you might have looked into that particular stream, which they announced for a very short window, but that is cashing out the opportunities if you are aware of what is going on.
Yeah.
So that program is closed, but in future, if it gets open up, keep an eye on that as well.
Fair enough.
I will take next question because Hassan, I think that's for you especially. So the next one is, hi Shariq sir, I want to meet you. How should I contact you? So yes, Hassan, please go ahead.
Rehan, I think Adnan has sort of touched upon that. See, if you have generic questions, the whole purpose of this live session is to answer that. But valuing anybody's time, and there's a lot of assessment that has to be done. As professionals, we have to do very ethical and case-specific advising. For that, you need to book a consult with either Adnan or myself, so whoever you want to meet and book your consult. And these days, as Nan mentioned already, everything is happening virtually. So you can go on Adnan's website. What I'll do is that quickly I'll again put up the banner where you can see our websites. So for any of you who wants to meet us and discuss your case, Adnan's website, which is www.felkus.com, my website, which is www.shariqimmigration.com. Just go on these websites and you'll be able to find links to book a consult session. That's where we will sit down with you at a specific time. We'll ask you for your specific details, and then we'll provide you advising as to what possible options are there. So that's the way to engage us for discussing your case.
Exactly. It's like a doctor-patient relationship.
Yeah.
You come for an advice and we will advise you because we know how the things work here. Just consider this scenario and you will understand how it's going to work actually.
Yeah. And the good thing with again, I keep mentioning this, that a lot of people are used to these non-licensed, non-qualified agents and consultants in different parts of the world. You walk into their office and you say that I'm interested in Canadian immigration, and right there and then, without even asking you your full name, they say, you already qualify for this particular program. All you have to do is give us like $500 in advance, and then there are these 6 installments that you have to pay $50,000 each, and in 3 months time you'll get your PR. That's not how it works. Very good example by Adnan. You have to sit down with a professional, have an assessment done. We'll give you that the options, that what's possible and what's not. Like, we'll give you a diagnosis, and then it's your choice if you would want to do that whole application yourself, use our service, or call it off. So it's important that we value each other's time and take things in a professional manner. So just I think the website the websites are there. If you're interested, you're more than welcome to contact one of us.
Thank you, Hassan. And there is a follow-up question also by Rehan, but I think that is a personal one, so I would leave it for time being. Once he book an appointment, so of course can be discussed. Let me bring the other question in front. That is from Zain. If possible, I need work visa as software developer, or I need suggestion as business partner. What's the best route? Hassan, you take this one.
Okay. Then again, you need to, I think the important trigger word for me was work visa in there. Now, if you're interested in a skilled based migration option, as a software developer, there are quite a few options. Again, we need to know details. So there's the federal stream under Express Entry, then the human capital priority stream under OINP, that has possibilities. Alberta is interested in tech professions as well. They've had a bit of a freeze on inviting people from outside, but now they've resumed that. Some other provinces have those opportunities, so we need to know what your credentials are. If you're looking for a work permit kind of thing, keep in mind that for a work permit you need to have a job offer, which is to be supported by an LMIA. Myself and also Adnan, we are not into the business of selling these job offers or arranging job offers and asking money for that. That's actually, like, if you ask for money for a job here in Canada, that's actually a crime. If you're interested in being assessed for a skill migration pathway, you can contact one of us, and we'll be happy to sort of work on that. We are not able to provide any help with arranging employment. With second piece, which is business partner. So I think maybe you're talking about the startup visa. This is for tech folks. But for that, again, you need to have an idea and you need to pitch it to a venture capitalist, business incubator, or angel investor. And if they are willing to invest in your idea, then it can proceed further.
Right. Thank you, Hassan. I think that's very well elaborated. Let's take on the next question. In sequence, we have Rehan again. How do I book appointment with you guys? I think we answered that already. Thank you, Rehan, for asking. Mehran, I think this is an important one. Let's bring it up. Which is least IELTS Canada PRC? Okay, so
Yes.
basically they're asking what is the least IELTS requirement for Canadian PR economic immigration stream. Okay, I can answer that. So it depends from one program to another federal program. So basically, there are three programs. One is the federal skilled worker. The second is the Canadian experience class. The third is federal skilled trade class. Now, these three different streams, which you need to qualify before even putting your profile into Express Entry, so they have a different requirement. So I will tell you now in detail the answer so that you understand. So for federal skilled worker class, the famous one, they have a requirement of CLB 7. Okay, so that is a language benchmark. I'm not telling about the IELTS score. I'm just telling about the CLB level, which is equivalent to IELTS band 6, though, just to clarify. So that is CLB 7 for federal skilled worker class. Now, when we come to federal skilled trade class, so the language requirement is CLB 5. Okay, so it dropped down. Now, when we comes to Canadian experience class, so then we have to look into the particular NOC code. If it is NOC O and A, like the high category professions, so then it stands for CLB 7. But when we talk about this, the B category NOC code, which is like food supervisors and other little bit lower professions, so the scale is CLB 5. So that is the assessment which we look into in more detail based on the professions which you are into, and then we'll advise you, okay, do you qualify, how much do you qualify into, like what is the score. The CRS score calculation is the next step. So this is just the preemptive we need to do before even putting you into the Express Entry profile. I hope that answer your question, Hassan. If you want to add something, go ahead, please, buddy.
Yeah, I'll just quickly add. Nan has explained well that don't work it like this. A lot of people try and do this reverse engineering where they want to first know that which stream has the lowest IELTS requirement, and then try. What if your profession is not part of that particular category? So I think more important thing is that you need to see that which category is where your profession is required. You'll be eligible for that, and then you have to strive for that IELTS score that is needed for that. And also, the eligibility might actually be very low. It might be like, even for Express Entry, the eligibility is only, if you're talking of IELTS, it's just 6 in each module. But even if you have 7 in each modules these days, you will still not be able to get an invitation. So don't try and work this in the reverse direction and try and work it like that. Focus on which streams are inviting your particular profession. Yeah,
exactly. And that I think the best way is to get your assessment done for, first of all, like to see whether you need to get into this or not.
yeah.
If you need to get into this, you should be aware of the chances, the first thing. And secondly, if you require a surgery, for example, if you need to go into PNP stuff, that is also being assessed on a case to case basis once we know the situation. We cannot just let you know that, okay, we will put you in the PNP profile, although you cannot. Of course, that's the wrong way of doing it. So the proper assessment is the key of the case, like how it's going to end up. You should know about that, your prospects.
Yeah.
So Hassan, I think we pretty much covered all the questions here,
Yeah.
and we covered our subject as well. So I think we should wrap it up. And I'm really thankful for all of you guys who attended this session live, and also who will join us after this session. It will be available on Facebook page, on Falcus and SHARIQ page as well. So you can see the recording afterwards. And also, if you would like us to cover some new subject which you is interest to you, just write in the comment section. We
Yeah.
definitely will bring our research and we will talk about it in detail, and you can ask question. So yeah, thank you once again, and we will look forward to see you next week soon, same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hassan, over
And
to you.
yeah, yeah. Wrapping it up again. Thank you from my side as well, and I'll not take a lot of time. And what we will do is that we leave you with again a video that showcases the beauty of Canada and some fun facts about Canada. So bye for now, and see you next week.